Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the ESL Pro Tour Europe Weekly. It is June 22nd, and I am Nathanias live here from, it's already sunny, Las Vegas, Nevada, bringing you some StarCraft 2. We're in about the second-ish round. And in the bottom left, we have one of probably the most entertaining players to watch. He does broadcast on Twitch, but you've probably heard his name and seen some of his meme builds used in GSL. That's right. On the bottom left, he is Maxpax. He faces off against the red Zerg player in the northeast, the Italian stallion, the runner-up to the World Championship last year. You know him, you love him, you wish you could date him. He's Reynor. All right, so Reynor immediately, he's trying to make something look weird here. He's like, I don't want you to think that I took my hatch in my natural first, right? I want you to think that I'm doing something weird, because we already know Maxpax is going to do something weird. That's kind of his thing, right? Like, if you don't know Maxpax, you guys heard of the Maxpax build? That's this guy right here. He was in the lab, M&M style, cooking up some, I don't know, what do they mix M&Ms with? Like a McFlurry or something? And he made like the McFlurry of a StarCraft build where, what was it, the double pylon, one gate, Chrono Zealot rush or whatever, while you go Nexus behind it. The one proxy gate build that I do believe Parting used to actually win more than one time in GSL versus Terran players. And if I recall, Maxpax also did recently, I don't know that it was against Reynor, but there was somebody pretty good that he actually upset or surprised not too long ago. Was Reynor worried about the cannon rush? Is that why he hid this base? He didn't even try to take his natural. Interesting. So Reynor comes over here and he sees two gateways being chronoed, and he'll be able to see the two adepts coming out. But that's it. There's actually nothing else that's happening yet. So is he about to like try to proxy something here? The Lings are looking, but they're not finding anything. There is nothing to be found as of yet. So there's your two adepts. Now, what shall he try to accomplish in such a scenario as this? We do have them chasing the Lings down. So trying to deny his ability to run through. He doesn't want to have to warp a unit in at home. In fact, he's not getting warp gate. None. So he's just not going to get warp gate, and he's going to build a Nexus. He's building a Stargate back here, but you see, Reynor can see that the cybernetics core is not doing anything. He can see that the gateways are still just that, gateways. These two adepts tried to do something. Goodbye, adept number one. And adept number two is doing its best to try and buy a little bit of time, dance around. And I guess in a roundabout sort of way, goodbye, adept number two. So what's interesting is he's building more adepts out of the gateways, but not building a Phoenix out of the Stargate. So he can't really deny the scouting. I feel like if you're Reynor at some point, you kind of like realize that something weird's going down. Oh my God, he didn't hold position. Even if you run those guys back into the wall, units that are moving in StarCraft are actually smaller than units that are standing still. That's a very important fact that a lot of people don't know about StarCraft. But units physically become smaller while moving. That's why whenever you try to like rush to make a wall of units in front of Lings, the Lings always manage to slip through, even though it doesn't look like it should. Like it looks like they're kind of clipping. It's because they are. It's because the Lings are very small when they're moving, and if your units are moving at all, even if they're trying to slow down, which is SCVs while decelerating actually still have the smaller size from moving, which is why it's so freaking hard to block Lings with workers. But these adepts picked off a few drones. This Oracle has desperately tried to provide some value, has thus far failed pretty miserably. And for all of the defense that Maxpax has run into, the drone count has not gotten crazy high for Reynor. But we still don't really know what Maxpax wants to do, because now he's starting a Twilight Council. He built an Oracle, he got Twilight Council. Okay. Okay. He did get Warp Gate. I was gonna say, I'm like, is he just not gonna get Warp Gate? And then I didn't look at it again until just now. So thank God for that, because I would have been extremely confused. That would have just been terrifying. So we have Resonating Glaives. It's gonna be Adepts. Well, we've already seen that Maxpax has enjoyed his Adept Harass at the start of this game. This is game number 1, by the way. These are best of 3s. And the Oracle did recently get tuned to be a little bit easier at scouting. So he's going to take a hidden third, and he's going to build a gateway over here. He's an absolute madman. He shows no fear in the face of danger. And these Lings just don't know. He's just like, all right, what, are you going to turtle up on 2 bases and try to go for carriers or something? I'm not 100% sure on that. Thankfully, these queens do not have the old 8 range memes. Wait, is he going to push with these? No. Is that his plan? Yeah, he's just going to do Ling Ravager Queen all in, it looks like. He's just going to try and send it all. Unfortunately, the timing of this Dark Shrine is going to be just barely too late. The Oracles kind of see... Well, I mean, now you've got to know, right? I don't think Mass Adept can stop this. Or can it? The shield batteries are both next to each other. I think this is a mistake. I think you want to tuck at least one back. This is a little bit better. Notice the lack of pylons for this wall. I'm greatly concerned. You want to make sure you have a tucked in shield battery so you can use the battery overcharge ability, which could be Maxpax's way to be able to try and get victory here. Ravagers have several more range than Adepts. Ravagers have 6 range. Adepts only have 4, which makes it very hard to use them. Now, he is going for a bit of a cheeky counterattack with some Adepts. Trying to buy some time, trying to be annoying. Honestly, there's no Overseers, no detection. The lair is not done. He just needs to survive. Survive! And then he's going to have Dark Templar. He could actually kill all of this. He just needs to get the DTs out. And he should be able to stop this pretty easily. There's not an Overlord super close by to give detection. He should have just barely enough time to actually do what he needs to do. All right, the Dark Shrine is done. He needs to warp the DTs in yesterday, though. He needs them now. He needs like a lot of Dark Templar. I think he can only warp in about 3. He was close to being able to get a 4th. Okay, here we go. The DTs are intermixed with the rest of the army. Probes are dying. He doesn't have detection here. There's no Overseer. There is an Overlord here. It's not trying to morph yet. The lair only just now finished. So these DTs are going to kill the Queen. And he does have a 3rd base hidden over here. So he's only down to about 10 workers. So assuming that he somehow stabilizes in this game, it's not like it would be impossible for him to take it. But yeah, he's just not going to give him the time, right? Time's the big question, because now he's going to roll up again, except this time he will have an Overseer. And he doesn't even realize that the Overseer's not here yet. So he could have used these DTs as they are for a little while longer. That overcharged shield battery was not enough to save the Archon. GG. And Reynor takes game number 1 versus Maxpax. We're going to jump into the next game as soon as possible. Just waiting for the lobby to get posted. And then we're going to jump right on in. All right, we're in the lobby for game number 2. Let's do it, boys. Boy. Let's see if Maxpax can tie it up. Or if he will be banished to the Shadow Realm by the finalist of last week's ESL Pro Tour European Cup. We have Maxpax in the top left. We're playing on Death Aura. And in the bottom right, we've got from Clash, it's Reynor. As I was saying, Reynor actually had pretty good performance last week in the Cup. We did get to see Reynor versus, I believe it was Hero Marine for the finals. And he also clapped Clem's cheeks, which I thought was quite surprising, as Clem looked pretty much unstoppable in every match that he played until he did go up against Reynor. So I personally felt like there was certainly a decent bit of opportunity there. Tragically, you know, it's never going to be quite that simple as we may have otherwise hoped. But regardless, we shall see what happens. We shall see what happens. Probe Scout is going to see nothing crazy. There is a gateway at the front of the wall again. Is he going to go for the second gateway in the Cybernetics core and delay his warp gate by 3 minutes to pump out 6 adepts? I don't know. We'll find out on this episode of Dragon Ball Z. Reynor just does not feel like dealing with this. He's like, man, I'll build hatches elsewhere. He wants him to think that he's not... Like, he wants him to think that he's just going to expand elsewhere. But in reality... He's like, well, the probe's going to stay there to scout me, right? Which means that Maxpax will never actually see that I have gone for this. He'll never see that I am actually proxy hatching him. And I'll be building my own swan on his front door. Could you imagine that? You imagine like you're chilling on top of this ramp and you're like, oh, what is that? That's basically this game of StarCraft. It's Monday. It's Monday, guys. I don't think this is a wall. No, he's going to use the battery to help seal it. Risky play, considering the amount of hit points on a shield battery is lower than that of a pylon. We have the gateway tucked in the back. So what? He doesn't want him to think it's 2 gates, even though it's still 2 gates? Well, do you even realize that you're about to be penetrated by a hatchery deep inside your body? He doesn't know. This adept is running now. Like, are any of the cogs turning there yet? Does he realize? Let's go to Maxpax vision. Let's jump inside the mind of a Maxpax. Says, like, all right, gotta tighten my wall up. All right, let's recall those adepts. Bring them home. Oh, I see the proxy. All right, let's get the proxy set up going here. All right, got 2 more shield batteries coming up, guys. Oh man, this is gonna be real hard. But if I believe in myself, if I channel the heart of the cards, and I get enough shield batteries and I overcharge those batteries, I think I might be able to do something about this. This is his camera vision, by the way. He's not putting his camera over the hatch, which is quite odd. He's like, his camera's like following his units. I'm not crazy. This is his vision, right? The way that he observes the game is quite interesting. Okay, well, the spine calls are coming up. All right, we'll leave Maxpax vision. I mean, you've got 3 adepts to stop 3 spine crawlers. I'm not gonna say that it's an unfair fight, but it is, yeah. I mean, it looks like Reynor done him a heckin' bamboozle. He's only got 2 gates in the main base now, and I don't know that 2 gateways is gonna be enough to kill this many Zerglings and spine crawlers. He's trying to add stalkers, but stalkers are also, they also take, everything here takes the bonus damage. It's a lot of shield batteries. There's an overcharged battery. He's just going to try and get right up into it. Come on and slam and welcome to the jam, says Reynor, as we've got the shield batteries trying to hold the Protoss forces against the siege of Zerg outside of his base. Can he defend? Can he stop? It does not seem like he's got enough Zerglings to actually bust through this. He's still flooding lings across the map, and it's only stalkers left. But ladies and gentlemen, it turns out that if you do build 9 shield batteries, you can hold. Maybe. I mean, honestly, this isn't over yet. Shield batteries are all very low in energy, but even despite how low their energy is, each one is still given enough time by the other one just barely spending its own energy that the other ones can get back some of their energy. And now there's the other additional shield batteries beginning to finish up. And as weird as this sounds, he's just not really prioritizing killing any of the individual batteries, and thus they're still acting as a wall. Okay, now he's finally chewing apart some of the batteries. We have some lings that have managed to slip past And I just, oh man, I don't know. Should you try warping zealots in at this point? I mean, I guess with just 2 gateways, he doesn't feel comfortable doing that, but something a little bit tankalicious or a little beefier might be nice. A few lings do make their way into the main, just 2. And 2 probes die, and there's a slow zealot to try and do something, but that will probably never work. So at the end of the day, he does push this off a little bit. I want you guys to know that Reynor is actually still building just Zerglings, so he totally intends on hitting him again. Like, Reynor's strategy here is, oh, you think you can kill an infinite amount of lings? Well, what happens when their blood fills the room and you can't do anything but swim in it? Like, his strategy is going to be quite literally drown in the blood of the Zerglings that I pour all over you. He says, you think it's so cool when you slice them in half and their guts spill everywhere, but it's exactly what he was hoping for in the first place. He steps out to kill a tumor, and there's the links around, even with the batteries. Does he have it on cooldown? He does. There you go. Shield battery is going to overcharge and try to help keep him alive, so Reynor says, all right. He says, absolutely not. I'm just going to go into the main. I'm not dealing with your super battery, your Super Saiyan shield battery. Copyright Bandai Namco 2020. We do have the lings kind of cornered. He only killed 4 probes. Oh my god. Actually really impressed that Maxpax hasn't died yet here. And I don't know. I feel like Reynor is so good at StarCraft that I would feel dumb if I said that I thought he was going to lose. But there's a part of me here that really wants to think that Maxpax can do it. Reynor has just now started building drones again. I love that some of these are going to build at the proxy hatch. So Reynor is just now taking his natural. This is crazy because he's got quite a few mineral patches close to mining out in his main now, while Maxpax has had his natural the whole time. And the resources lost actually does favor Maxpax. So realistically, these 17 lings, I don't think they can kill this army anymore. He built a warp prism, so he has a little bit more micro dance potential. You know, I mean, he's got the equivalent of a DDR Extreme gamepad. I've been thinking about that a lot with the new apartment, man. I think I've got enough room for a pinball machine. Obviously, I have enough room for a DDR machine, but that's a really hard one to get to sell the girlfriend on, you know? I feel like Maxpax could walk across the map and end this. I think it's possible. I think he could do it. There's still a bunch of units left here, but I mean, you just really want to warp in like an adept or 2 behind this wall. Should be Gucci. Oh my god, and he's getting Reynor's overlords out in the middle of the map too. Well, oh man. Well, there you go. There's 2 larvae and a good amount of his resources now put into that. Shield batteries healing each other. Not safe for work. He's getting a defensive spine crawler. I don't remember the last time I saw a spine help a Zerg hold a Protoss push, though. I think with the Ling Flood, I think he just invested too much. Is it crazy? You know what's wild is that if this was like Showtime, I would say Reynor's dead. But I'm just really nervous because Maxpax is definitely the underdog. He's a fantastic player, but you know, it's just Reynor is on that next level. Reynor is on next level. This is like Best Genius versus All Might or something, right? You still got respect for him, but like it just really shouldn't be that simple. So he's going to add another wave of zealots because really the lings are the only thing that can kill the stalkers. And he's just going to waltz into the natural expansion like he's the belle of the ball. There's that warp prism pickup micro onto the stalkers that are a little bit lower on their shields. He's keeping the zealots tucked in very closely so that they don't separate from the stalkers and enable us around. There's the force fields, try and push some of these forces back. The corrosive bile hits one of his own lings, and the first spine crawler is going to get popped. The second one in the back, I don't think it's going to be able to hold all of this on its own, ladies and gentlemen. 14 lings coming out behind us. We got 2 Ravagers, 1 on the ramp, 1 down below by that spore crawler. The spine, excuse me. A couple more biles do drop, but they don't hit anything, and GG is called. Maxpax ties it up with Reynor. Hot damn. Well, I didn't see that coming. I certainly did not think that we were going to see Maxpax take a map off Reynor. He is a pretty good Protoss player. All right, and we'll jump into the next lobby as soon as it is available and resume and carry on with this series, ladies and gentlemen. We're in the lobby for game number 3. Yeah, a couple of the recent patches, I might need to reinstall my StarCraft, but a couple of the recent patches have made it such that the some of the death animations, the models just disappear. I noticed this a lot with Overlords. Pour ketchup on that pizza? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Ketchup on pizza. You're sick. You're a sick, twisted, no. That's really bad. All right, we lost the Reaper, man. We've got, in the bottom left, our blue Protoss player tying things up. 1 apiece. He is Maxpax. And his opponent in the top right, the man who in the pregame lobby for the final game of this best of 3 said, shield battery go brrr. He is Reynor. That's a good meme. It's a good meme for StarCraft, you know? It's like, I could say like the Terran version. It's like, no, you can't just pump out mass zealots and stop mining gas. That's not fair. I have a whole army. And then like the Protoss players like zealot printer go brrr. So there is that gateway at the front of the wall. Maxpax has been, he's shown 2 different looks. So in game number 1, he just went 2 gateways at the front here. PvP style, kind of. It just chronoed out of depths. In game number 2, he went for just 1 gateway. And then kind of built 2 in his main. And, well, everything got crazy because Reynor proxy hatched him. So Reynor proxy hatched him in game number 2. And he ended up building 9 shield batteries in his natural. Which, I mean, honestly, hey, you got to do what you got to do. You know? If a storm is coming, buy a coat. Wear a hat. Purchase an umbrella if it's not a thunderstorm. You know? Order delivery to arrive right before the storm hits so that the poor delivery driver is lost out in the boonies, unable to find his way home because he can't see because of how hard the torrential downpour is. Anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about, okay? You feel me. You feel me. On Nathanias's 17th birthday, it was I had the whole week of school off because we had such a massive blizzard, actually. There was so much snow. They closed school every single day that week. And the entire town shut down except for the truck stop that had a Burger King built into it. And my dad drove his Jeep through like 4 feet of snow everywhere to make me a birthday cake out of chicken nuggets and Whoppers. How about that? How about that? Because we literally could not go anywhere or buy anything for a whole week. Good times. Good times. Thankfully, the pipes didn't freeze, so we had water and stuff. And we had like electric and stuff, but yeah. Crazy times, man. Sometimes you got to be ready. You got to be ready, just like Maxpax. And you know what? Looking to the future, as an adult myself now, if I ever think such a similar scenario could ever happen, I would probably build 9 shield batteries before the blizzard hits this time. You know, and I'd build them all around something that makes better food than a Burger King. Because that. Love you, Dad, but, you know, obviously we could have, if we could have done anything else, we certainly would have. He's only got 3 probes mining gas, which is interesting. So he wants to maintain his mineral patch being fully saturated because, okay, he's going to go depths again. And that makes sense with the Twilight. You don't really need as much gas to do a big adept. And now he's going to start, now that he's like reaching that saturation point, he's going to start putting a few more on the gas, but adepts cost, you know, quite a few more minerals than they do gas, which makes it an acceptable move, in my opinion. Quite acceptable. Now, here's what's interesting, though, because he tried to do the adepts in game 1. He tried to do the adepts in game 1 as his follow-up. It came pretty late because he got 2 oracles. He built 2 oracles with his adepts. And then he went into the resonating glaives in the game 1. And he just died. So this is going to be a much faster, much more sharp timing. And the real question is, will he do enough damage that he doesn't feel like he has to build a Dark Shrine after? Now, I'm not saying, will he build a Dark Shrine after? I think every Protoss player knows, yeah, of course, you're always going to get Dark Shrines. But will he feel that he needs it? Oh, these 3 Adepts running ahead of the Prism. Take some Zerglin damage. Now, they do all survive, but it's not the, you know, it's going to be hard to warp Adepts in underneath this with that many Zerglings. And in fact, he might say to himself, I could force you to recall or build shield batteries or something with this type of defense and keep you at home. Not able to do anything there quite yet. So here we go. We've got Maxpax with his forces. Adepts getting some solid hits off onto the Zerglings as they continue to make their way up towards that ramp above the 3rd base and then next to the natural. There is a spine. There are roaches. There's several queens. So how many Adepts does it take to get to the center of a Zerg hive cluster? Stalker's going to kill the Scouting Overlord. He was probably looking for a Dark Shrine or something like that since it's what happened in game 1. But I do think that Maxpax doesn't want to be too predictable. So he's going to send a bunch of Adepts to the left. And then he's going to send the Warp Prism with Adepts in it to the right. And this Overlord for Reynor, he knows. He knows. He says, all right, I'm going to split my forces up. I'm going to try and split up what I have properly here. So you got to get your Resonating Agleps fighting some Resonating Agleps. That's a new name for them. That's the new name for them. These guys are just going to shade straight to the natural. The absolute madman. He does want to get drone kills. Ladies and gentlemen, he only has 38 probes to 35 drones. So if he loses his whole army and Reynor retains most of his, it's highly likely that he's going to be able to send a large number of forces over to his base to clap his cheeks. But frankly, he's actually keeping most of the Adepts alive thus far. The Warp Prism has done a good job of staying alive at the same time. He's continuing to fight against the roaches inside of the main base. The drones have been evacuated from the dance floor. But with the Queen backup, I fear that these Adepts are unlikely to be phased just yet. No Adept phasing, pun intended. The Prism is going to make his way back over to the natural expansion while the rest of the shades are dipped back in from the main base. Another couple of drones go down. He's been having a really hard time actually getting the drone kills, the actual hardcore drone kills in this situation. But if he could just get up to like maybe 7 or 8, then I think you're really feeling that come on and slam and welcome to the jam vibe going. This is going to warp in another big wave of Adepts in the natural expansion. Zergling's taking a beating, taking a pounding. Going to get another roach kill with the Adepts. Every time Adepts kill a roach, it's got to feel so good. It feels like you've got them Destructo Disc vibes going on. Trying to take down the highest hit point Queen. All the transfuses were burned. He's going to grab another drone or two. Looks like the Warp Prism has finally met her end. And what's the follow-up? It's going to be Immortals. Honestly, the economy for Reynor was absolutely gutted. He's building 6 drones. That's going to get him back up to equilibrium with his opponent, but I do see a chrono boosted Immortal or two and a crap ton just like Adept Immortal. Why not? Why not just push out with a bunch of Adepts and Immortals? Look at this. He's going to build the 1 Immortal. The Warp Prism is queued. Can he get it done? He starts a 3rd Nexus, a bold move. He's going to kill a drone for 2 Adepts. Not really a value deal. I don't even think that would make it on like a Kirkland signature Adepts right there. Those were more like great value Adepts if you've ever had the displeasure of being at a ShopRite in your sad, miserable, pathetic life like I have. So that Zergling is dead. He knows about the 3rd. But is it a real 3rd? Is it a fake 3rd? Is this like the 2013 MC's building a 3rd tasteless, but it's not really a 3rd? You know? It's like when somebody sends you a greeting card and they're like, oh, hey, you know, happy Father's Day. But actually, it's like a remote activated, you know, bomb that triggers if your car drives below 60 miles an hour on the Los Angeles freeway, you know, and Keanu Reeves is there and some good-looking young actress that I can't remember the name of because the movie came out in 1996. They do have the Adepts with the Prism back inside of the main base. 4 drones have been killed so far. A couple of them trying to squeeze out to the natural. Not quite going to make it. But the drone count didn't really get to explode in the normal sense that you would typically want it to, right? Like, there's still roaches, you know, but where's the rest of the tech? You know, we're looking at... I mean, if I had to describe Reynor's army right now, we're looking at a pretty basic, like, turkey sub. right? It's like, I don't want to use the word hoagie because I don't feel like there's that much bread and meat to it. But it's like, yeah, you've got maybe something like a small amaretto roll with maybe like 3 slices of moderately thick turkey breast. But there's not really anything else on there, you know. You don't have lettuce. You don't have any mayonnaise or anything like that. You don't have, honestly, most of the things that you would want as condiments. And I'll tell you, as a basic boring bitch myself, I actually love just a plain old turkey hoagie. But for me, you know, that's got to be like 7 slices of turkey on a hoagie roll, like a real hoagie roll with soft, fluffy bread on the inside. And then with nothing else, you know, then at the very least, I'm still having a 7,000 calorie sandwich, which at the end of the day is why I ordered it in the first place. So we have a Colossi coming out. Going to be putting on a nice little aioli drizzle with that Robotac. As Maxpax has built up a pretty powerful army bus behind his mad adept harass. Now, Reynor has definitely kicked things up. He's turned this into a turkey roast beef sandwich. He's gone for the 2 meat build, Roach Ravager. It doesn't seem like they'd be complementary, but let me tell you, if you ever get the chance, just put 3 slices of turkey on 3 slices of roast beef on a big hoagie roll. It's good stuff, man. Even with no other toppings, they still charge you extra, though, which sucks. Like I said, you shop right. Okay, the Adepts buffering a little bit on the top side. Good force fields to grab the Ravagers. You can really see not only the power of the Immortals there, but I don't know that he was expecting Colossi to come out of this in an actual way that he'd have to be fighting against them. He did see the Robobait earlier, but this army is getting a little bit beefy in terms of the tech options for Maxpax. So I actually am starting to like Maxpax's army. He just needs to dodge the corrosive biles, and he has a good amount of firepower with this army. It's not the fastest though, and he does peel off all the shields of the Colossus. We do not have a shield battery to help hold the door against this. Every time those biles get dropped, yeah, sentries are continuing to fall. The Observer, keep the Observer alive. Why? Well, there's nothing cloaked, but you know, you always want to have your Observers alive, man. They ain't cheap. And now you can't build another Colossus if he needs detection for some reason. So the Mass Ravager play is actually working pretty well. I feel like you've almost got to yeet yourself onto this, but the problem is that he just doesn't have like actual buffer units. It's just Stalkers with some Immortals and a Colossus. Now the second Colossus is here. He does have range. This helps, but I can't help but wonder if he should just blink his Stalkers onto the Ravagers. Yeah, I actually don't even think it's necessarily the worst move that you could make. Force the Biles to be a little bit closer. Let the Colossi keep shooting. Then again, that's why I'm not a pro Protoss player. I only know how to mass Stargate units. Oh my god, the Nexus just barely died. Just barely. And hey, look at the Stalkers onto him did work. Look at that, Nathanias. You still kind of have it. Do I though? I don't know. So anyway, most Protoss armies are happy to eat a hoagie of a Zerg's army. So that's okay. Now here's the kicker. He lost the 3rd base. His main, very sparse. His natural, I mean, it's looking like the Social Security Fund of the United States right now. There's not a whole lot left. He needs to reestablish the 3rd. He needs to put a shield battery or 2 on it. You know, show that commitment. There's nothing that says, I love you more than I'm willing to commit 7 shield batteries to you. Men, remember that. There's the wave of Biles. Keep the Prism alive. Very important. He can at least try to juggle the Colossi. There's a lot of units here that he has to deal with. It's gonna take some good micro. Does lose 1 Colossus. Unfortunately, the Queen's coming up with a backup, and GG is called. Reynor takes it 2-1. Losing that 3rd base just cut out too much of the economy from Maxpax.